Hi, guys. So, you know how people will say stupid things online? And you could tell about a trial, for example. And I told you recently about the stabbing. I'm sorry, I've got hair everywhere. Jeez. About the stabbing on the Apple River with Nikolai Mew. He was harassing these teenagers and he started with them. He started the drama with them that he would not leave them alone. And everybody said, who did not, obviously didn't watch the trial, those kids are hoodlums. They weren't raised right. That. And one guy said, or one person said, if you put your hands on somebody, because the teenagers started smacking him around, but they only did that after he hauled off and punched a girl in her face, and her dad did witness her face red and swollen, and the side of her face was red also. So it wasn't like all of a sudden half of her face decided to get red. Obviously, somebody slugged her. And that's when the teenagers got really mad, and that's when they got physical with Nikolai and popped him around a few times to let him know you don't put your hands on women. So this idiot on YouTube says, anytime you put your hands on somebody, you should lose your life. And bop this and bop that. And I later on said, really? Because Nikolai was the one he was the one who threw the first punch. So should he get killed too? And I've heard crickets ever since. Get out of my face saying stupidness. And you cannot sit here and tell me that that person ain't never been in a bar fight or ain't never been in a fight in high school or anything like that. You sound ridiculous. You sound insane. Absolutely insane. Okay. Anyway, it's obvious who did not watch the trial. Obvious. I mean, my God, it's as obvious as the nose on my face. So anyway, let's talk about monogamy in a narcissistic relationship. So, bear with me. Real life, real life. Quit it. Quit. You're being really ridiculous. Come on now. Anyway, sorry. So a narcissist wants, doesn't matter if they're male or female, makes no difference, okay? They want you to be monogamous to them. But they will never be monogamous with you. They won't. They won't. They won't. And sometimes they'll say things like, do you still love me? Do you love me? You still love me? You still have feelings for me? Because they want to make sure that your loyalty for them still stands while they're bouncing in up and down on other people and jumping in and out of people's beds. I need to be sure that you are loyal to me. I'm not going to be loyal to you. Don't be stupid. They're not going to necessarily come out and tell you that, but they're never going to be loyal to you. They have arrested development, so they have the mindset of a child. You know how a child is excited about their toy for a few hours, maybe a week if you're lucky, and then they want a new toy, they start to get bored. Narcissists have the same mentality. They don't have what I call the new car smell. You don't have the new car smell anymore after the high wears off. So you need to, I might keep you around, but I'm going to be looking for somebody else who feeds my ego, somebody else who thinks I'm amazing, because I've already gotten your loyalty. So you could go on somewhere, because I'm looking for somebody else. They don't necessarily tell you that. And sometimes they'll stay with you indefinitely. Indefinitely. 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. But they are always going to be involved with other people. That will never change. But in the beginning, when you're getting to know them, they're going to say nonsensicals like, I'm attracted to you because you're into monogamy. Monogamy. And they know, as those words leave their mouth, they know they're lying and lying and lying, but they're still going to lie because That's what narcissists do. If they're breathing, they're lying. If they're talking, they're lying. That's not ever going to change. So don't think that just because they sell you a pipe dream in the beginning and tell you that I'm so into monogamy. A lot of people aren't into monogamy. They can't be faithful anymore. They get bored easily. And I want to be with someone for the rest of my life. And I want to share all my life experiences with somebody. And they will just become the most convincing salesperson that you've ever seen in your life. Hollywood would give them an Academy Award for their phony ass performance, but they're very convincing to the audience, okay? But they're not going to be faithful to you. I need you to be faithful to me, but I will never be faithful to you. I need to make sure you still love me. I need to make sure you still care about me. I will accuse you of not loving me anymore. I will do whatever it takes to make sure that you bend over backwards to try to impress me. Another thing that they'll do is lie and say, my ex never gave me, and it could be man or woman, makes no difference. My ex never gave me flowers on my birthday. My ex didn't care about me when my heart was broken. My ex didn't do this, that, and a third. And then let me tell you what's really going on with that. Okay? What's really going on with that is they are setting the stage for you to A, feel sorry for them, B, dislike their spouse, a form of triangulation, and C, I want you to be a trained SEAL. I want you to always jump up in the air like you're jumping in the air for a special treat, or, do what you were trained to do, jump through the hoops in the air, because I want you to prove to me that you are better than my ex. So this is a training exercise for you. They are the SEAL trainer. You are the SEAL. Here's a list of things that people have never done for me. So what do? You prove that you care about them. You always prove that you love them. You go above and beyond. You never got flowers. Well, you going to get flowers today. Okay? This, that, and the other. And there were, a whole list of things that they were never respected in this scenario. And all of it is to train you to be the SEAL jumping in the air. Was that a good jump? Was that high enough? Yay! What can I do to make you happy? Or another training exercise they do is, oh, I had a terrible childhood. I was a foster kid, and my parents never loved me, and they gave me up for adoption. And my adopted parents, my foster parents, or whatever they are, adopted parents, they never loved me either. And then I bounced from foster home to foster home, and I just had the worst life ever, and nobody loved me, and I don't think I'll ever heal from my wounds. I don't think I'm ever going to recover. That's a training exercise too. That is to train you to fall in love with them harder, and to, if I give, you think it somewhere in, you think it's logical, but it's kind of illogical. You think in your mind, I'm going to love you harder because you never had that love growing up, and people have just treated you so awful, and you've had nothing but bad breaks. Everywhere you turn, you've had nothing but bad breaks. And this is not going to work. You need somebody to love you. You deserve to be loved. So I'm going to love you harder. That's not what you want to do. If anybody approaches you a day in, a week in, a month in, 6 months in, whatever the case is, with a song and a dance about how their life has been so hard, that's a red flag. That's a red flag. Potentially. Now, could they have had a bad childhood? Possibly. Could it also be used to manipulate you emotionally? Yes. And let me tell you something else. As far as the love thing, and you're trying to prove that you love them, you have to remember that if you're dealing with a narcissistic person, they do not heal from love. They don't heal from getting special treatment from you or anybody else because their brain is damaged. Okay? Their brain is damaged. So that their brain alters their behavior. I don't know if you've ever seen experiments where it's kind of not nice to do, but we've seen it happen. Some of us have seen it happen, but it helps you understand the brain better. But now in retrospect, that's kind of not cool. But they would put electrodes on a monkey's head, and they would stimulate parts of the brain, and depending on the parts of the brain that they stimulate, that would be the emotion that the monkey shows, whether it's sadness or anger, rage, or hyper. They're just all over the place. So depending on what part of the brain is stimulated, that determines the person's the monkey's behavior. Well, the damage in a narcissist's brain, that dictates their behavior also. That is why it's easy for them to lie. It is easy for them to cheat. It is easy for them to sell themselves to you like they're the best thing that ever happened to you. Meanwhile, they're the worst thing that ever happened to you. But they're used to, it's natural for them to lie and BS people and manipulate and lie. It's very easy for them because they don't know how to behave any other way, and they've never sought therapy. So this is the only thing that they know. So it is natural for them. How can they lie like that? Because, it's the same way. How can you breathe like that? It's normal for you. You breathe in through your nose and, out in through your nose, out through your nose. If you're exercising, you may, because you're working up a sweat or whatever the case may be. It is natural for them to lie. It is natural for them to manipulate. It is natural for them to cheat. It is natural for them to triangulate. There is no love in the world that you can give them that'll make them say, I've heard a lot of people in my life, and it's high time I went to therapy and stopped this damage that I've done, because it isn't right. They don't have the ability to self-reflect. Their brain will not permit this, okay? And for the rare occasion, the rare narcs that do self-reflect, that's because they finally realize that what they're doing their whole life isn't working. Most narcs are not smart enough to realize, hey, all the damage I cause other people turns around and bites me on the ass. They don't get that because they don't have the ability to self-reflect, because if they were to self-reflect, this is the majority of them, if they were to self-reflect, they would get attacked by the shame monster. They would feel shame, and that is unbearable to them. Unbearable to them. So therefore, I got to attack you and say the reason our relationship is failing is because of you, and because you don't give me sex enough, because you don't give me enough love. You were eyeballing other people. I noticed that you were flirting with the waiter when we went to dinner the other day, which isn't true. You were being polite because that's what you're supposed to be. You're not supposed to be mean and nasty to your anybody who's providing you a personal service. So, yeah, it's easy for them to be a snake. They don't know anything different. Now, and I've said this time and time and time again, for Ben Taylor and Lee Hammock, they are both self-aware. They both have gone to counseling. Ben used to cheat on his wife. He told her, you could just up and leave. I don't care. He was just really brutal to her. And she left him for a while, and then they end up back together. And then he decided to make himself a better, go to therapy and become a better person. But the majority of them are not going to do that. You need to dance around me. You need to be a better person, because the person that you are now isn't really so good. That is called projection. They know they're a loser, so they're going to tell you you're a loser. You're not doing this right. You're not doing that right. You're a big failure. Everything you do is a big fat fail. You haven't realized that yet? What is wrong with you? Why do you think we fight all the time? Not because I'm a narcissist, if I'm a narcissist. That's not why we fight all the time. We fight all the time because you're a bad person and you don't have any self-awareness. That is called projection. They don't have self-awareness, so they're going to say that you don't have self-awareness. It's just, their behavior is just diabolical. I can't talk. Like, that's something new. Everything they do or say, everything they know about themselves, they're going to turn it back to you. You are a bad person. You don't give me enough sex. You aren't good in bed. You, I don't like the way you're so friendly. We went to that party the other night and you couldn't get out of Billy Bob's face. You were just all up in his face, or you couldn't get out of um, Susie's face or whatever. Why were you so laughy with her, laughing and giggling and kiki-kikiing over there? What the hell was that all about? You're going to do that right in front of my face? Meanwhile, you were just being friendly. They'll blame you for being intoxicated. You were just embarrassed the hell out of me the other night. My God, what is wrong with you? You can't even go to a party and act civilized. Meanwhile, they were the ones who were trying to get new booty at the party. Are they going to tell you that? Hell no. You were the one trying to get laid right in front of them. How dare you? You're a slut. You're a hoe. You're a bitch. You're a this. You're a that. Blah, 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 blah. So again, we go back to the basics of a good person and a bad person. A good person is usually happy. A good person wants the best for you. A good person likes to surprise you. Money is not an issue. If I can't afford those $100 earrings, I'll wait till they're on sale, then I'll get them for you, because I noticed how you fell in love with them the other day. When your birthday comes around, or when Friday comes around, when I get paid, I'm getting those earrings. You don't know it yet, but I will get those for you. That's what a good person does. A bad person is miserable, lousy, depressed with themselves, miserable with themselves, and they want you miserable too. So I want to be like a sprinkler. You know how a sprinkler sprays the water, sprays the water all over the land. Well, a narcissist wants to spray their evil everywhere. So they are like a sprinkler, an emotionally destructive sprinkler. So it's not water that's spraying, it's negativity, accusations, lies, triangulation, game playing, toying with your head, deliberately not giving you things that you want. A healthy person doesn't play those games. A healthy person is always thinking, how can I make this person happy? I mean, I'll give you a prime example. There's people that I don't even know. I don't know them. Like, I know of them, and I may have met them once or twice, but I don't know them. I'll give you a prime example. One of my previous friends from back in the day, her mom is a collector of Coca-Cola products. Not the drink or anything like that. But she probably has that too, I'm sure. But like the old school bottles, she probably has those. She's got figurines. She collects, I don't know if you want to call it memorabilia. She just she just collects things that are anything Coca-Cola related. Okay. I don't even know this woman. And when I think I was in Rod's Hallmark store, which closed where I used to live. It closed, but I used to love going there. So many cool things to see. But I don't even know this woman. And when I was in there, I saw Coca-Cola little, teddy bears and Coca-Cola little figurines. And I thought, oh, her mom would like that. I don't even know this woman. I only laid eyes on her maybe once. And I thought about her when I saw figurines. That's what a person does who cares about you. And I don't even know her. So it's not like like we're tight or anything like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know her. But it's just natural. If you're not an asshole, it's natural when you see something that your partner would like, or that somebody that you've met before, or that you've known for years, that they love this. And so when you see it, you automatically think of them. Oh, so-and-so would love that. Sick people don't do that. And if they do it because you're going to owe them a favor after that. I'm not doing nothing nice for you unless there's something in it for me. Okay? Because they'll shove that in your face. So the minute things don't go their way after they buy you that, whatever it is, the minute life doesn't go their way, you had me spending all that money on that thing for you and you don't even appreciate me. So you're going to be beat in the head with the same thing that they bought for you. That's not a healthy person, okay, sweetheart? That's not a healthy person. Positive, happy people don't do that. They want to make you happy. Nothing makes them happier than seeing a smile on your face. Nothing makes them happier when they see your whole face light up with excitement. Okay, you open the box and there's a video I did a long time ago. I don't know if it's on there somewhere. Long time ago, I did a video several years ago, like 4 or 5 years ago, 6 years ago. I don't know, a while back. I opened up a geode on camera. It's on YouTube. And anyway, I opened it up and the crystals inside, because I'm into gems. For those that don't know, I'm a gemaholic. Anyway, I opened up the geode. It looks like a round rock, just a regular rock. There's a specific way you have to open it. You have to put if you're going to use a hammer, put a sock around it so that you don't get pieces everywhere. Like, there's a certain way you got to do it. Anyway, I opened it and I saw the crystals and I went, and I show the camera. I'm like, look at that. That's what a healthy person wants to see you do. Okay? A toxic person is always accusing, negative, psychological poison. They are psychological terrorists. That's a clear sign that you need to get the hell away from them. They don't want you happy because they've never been happy. Okay? So anyway, back to the monogamy. They want you monogamous. They want you to swear your loyalty. They want you to be a trained SEAL. I want you to always prove your loyalty to me and your love for me because I need my ego fed. Meanwhile, it's a one-way deal. They're never going to be loyal to you. Ever, ever, ever. You got to get that in your head. You cannot heal them. You cannot love them to the point where they treat you good now. They may tell you some bullshit like, I've never been cared about, like, as hard as you care about me, and it just makes me feel so good inside. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. It's a lie. It's to manipulate you. If they're toxic, it's to manipulate you. You can't love them to healness. You cannot love them to healness. That does not work. It's impossible. They'd have to get their ass in therapy willingly because they're tired of how their life has been going. None of them are smart enough to realize that everything I've done has caused me to have multiple failed relationships, failed marriages, failed friendships. They're not smart enough to click that together. Like, it doesn't click. They just blindly keep going through life and keep taking advantage of people because they think that works for them. The smart ones take responsibility for how they treat other people. That's the difference. Okay? You guys take care. Much love. Oh, backtrack. Let's go backwards for a second. Brian Dorsey, I did a video on him last night, and he was executed last night at 6 o'clock, and he was deceased by 6:11. He's the one that killed his cousin and the husband. Like I said, if you turned your life around, you'll go to heaven. If God sees fit to enter you into the kingdom, then cool. But you're not going to get a free pass. And I really thank the governor for not... Brian made the, what do you call it? The COs, correctional officers. He made their lives easier because he didn't cause problems. So he basically tricked their brain into, wow, he makes our job so much easier. We're going to fight and rally for him to avoid a death sentence, and hopefully we'll get him granted clemency because he makes our lives easier. But he didn't make his cousin's life easier. He killed her and killed her husband. So, no, you don't get a free pass. Sorry, you don't. No. They said that sometimes they'll describe how the execution went, and they didn't talk about finding a vein. Apparently they found one, or whatever the case is, and he was breathing a couple of deep breaths, slow deep breaths. Then he did a couple of shallow breaths. They give him lethal injection. A couple of shallow, quick breaths, and then he raised his head up off the pillow, and he did that number. He blinked a couple times, or once, or whatever the case is. He blinked real hard, and then after he laid back down, and then a few seconds later, let's see, several seconds later, he was gone. So I know in Alabama, somebody had said this online. They said, this person said, I was a correction officer, and this is what happens after you get executed in Alabama, because that person worked in the correction system for a long time. And they said, after you're executed, you immediately go into they put you in the coroner's van, and then the coroner's van takes a drive all around the entire prison once to say goodbye to, for you all, to say goodbye to this person, like the inmates, to say goodbye to this person, their final goodbyes. And then in Alabama, you go to like a forensic lab, so they can, something similar to that, where they can, I guess, do an autopsy on you and whatever else. If you do not have friends and family to bury you, then the inmate goes back to one of the facilities, and they will bury that person on the prison grounds. If they do have family, after the lab tests are done, or forensic exam, whatever it is that they do, the autopsy, whatever it is that they do, if they do have family, the body will be released to the family, and I guess the funeral home of their choice will come get the body or something. I'm not really sure how that part works, but I thought that was interesting. A person who actually worked in the system who tells you this is what happens after they're executed. So interesting. Anyway, you guys take care. Much love, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.